Hello and welcome to
Straight Out of College.
Straight Out of College. So we are going to talk about what we kind of covered for the interview we had with Caleb Cologne. So we just kind of chit-chat with him. What did we talk about?
We talked about a lot of good things. We talked about some physical therapy, his future plans, trying to maybe persuade him to move to the good state of South Dakota.
That's true. We did talk about that. We also talked about baseball. Turns out Caleb is very passionate about it. He's also very passionate about socks, so maybe...
Very passionate. I was overwhelmed at how passionate Caleb is about socks.
Yeah, apparently he really likes the brand StrideLine Socks, so maybe we should convince him to go over to the Red Sox and have them invest in StrideLine Socks, and
I don't want to give away too much here, but not a big fan of Harry Taylor, so you're gonna hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah. He also bombed his interview. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You're gonna like his outside thinking on the pizza question.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had a good interview with him. We're going to add a nice little segment right here, which is called what is it called?
It's called
Freelance Interrogation. That's what it's called. The reason behind this is we want to kind of teach you guys how to get the most bang for your buck if you're looking into freelance. That's one thing that a lot of people can have trouble with, is determining how to find the right price for determining how much you're worth. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually read portions of a conversation that I've had.
Real life conversation
through someone I contacted through a freelance website. We're going to basically kind of role play it out so you can hear how you should interact with these people that are trying to recruit you for their job.
Yeah, maybe land a good gig.
So we're just gonna do it segment at a time. So we're gonna start it off.
And what character are you gonna be in this?
I will
Daniel?
play myself. I'll be Daniel.
And I'm gonna be Andika?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, here goes nothing. Hello, you contacted me about doing monthly freelance work on Fiverr, freelancer website, and I was just wondering if you could get me some more information about the job.
Okay. I'm a full-time web developer who is working on Upwork.com. Do you know Upwork.com? Upwork is a freelancing site for web developers. A few days ago, my Upwork account was suspended, so I need a new Upwork account to get jobs for my living. But unfortunately, I can't create another account with my info on there. Upwork doesn't allow duplicate accounts, so I need your help. If you create a new Upwork account for me, you can get paid $100 per month. That's all I want from you. If you agree with me, contact me via Skype.
So all I need to do is give you my information and I get $100 every month? That's a good deal.
Okay. If you share your screen via Skype, I will guide you how to create it.
I don't have Skype. I can just give you all my information here though. And you can do the rest from there. So my name is Mike Hunt. My phone number is 658-867-5309. My address is 353 East Bonneville Avenue, Las Vegas. My social security number is 867-530-9696. And my birthday is April 1st, 1990.
Downloading Skype is very easy for you. Please download it and let's start creating Upwork account.
All right, that is the little bit we're going to give you there. We're going to cut it off. We're going to leave you in suspense. We're going to continue this next week, so you can look forward to that. So we're going to now jump into our interview with the man, the myth, the legend, Caleb Cologne.
And you can come on down.
Hello.
And
welcome
to
the
7th
episode
of
Straight
Out
of College. Okay, of college. Yeah, that's nuts. It's gonna take all day.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sawyer.
Really?
No. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sawyer.
And basically our podcast is where we interview people that are either in college or out of college, and we basically talk about transitioning from college to post-graduation. So today we are here with the one, the only, Caleb Collin. Hello, Caleb.
Say my name right.
Sorry, Caleb.
Okay.
Caleb, we're live right now, so stop messing around.
Alright, so how are you doing today, Caleb?
I'm doing great. I'm a little tired, but we'll make it through.
Okay, cool.
Why are you tired? When did you go to bed last night?
I don't know, probably like midnight.
That's way too late. How many hours of sleep did you get?
Past my bedtime.
How many hours of sleep what time did you get up?
I'm probably 7 or 8.
Okay.
That's a good amount.
That's a good amount. That's the right amount.
That is the right amount,
Yeah.
but then you shouldn't be tired right now.
Exactly, but I still am.
Alright, so I guess to start things off, Caleb, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, say your major, when you anticipate to graduate, what school you go to, and one fun fact about yourself.
Alright, so again, my name is Caleb Cologne, last name Cologne. I am going into my senior year. My major is exercise science, pre-physical therapy. I go to the University of Toledo. And fun fact about myself, so I broke my hand and a trampoline was involved, but usually people always hear like, oh, you fell off a trampoline and then you broke a bone. No, for me, the way it happened is I actually ran into a trampoline. I wasn't even jumping on it at all. I just straight up ran into it and broke my hand. So,
Why were you running towards it? Like, what were you doing?
I was trying to jump on top of it.
Oh.
And it was dark, so the trampoline was about a foot or two closer to me than it actually was. It was a foot or two closer to me than I thought. And I just jumped and I hit the metal pipe that was there. So you just heard like a ping, like, you know, the sound of a baseball hitting a bat. Heard that ping, and then you just hear, ah! And then more laughter from my friends that were with me.
How old were you?
This was
just last week, right?
I was about 14 or 15.
Okay, and is there any connections between that and your current major?
No, not at all, actually. So when I was looking into majors since middle school, my mom was an occupational therapist. So I always visit her at the hospital where she was working, and they always work really closely with the physical therapist where she works. So that was something that always interested me, like the medical field, all of that stuff. So I decided to go into physical therapy. I was considering athletic training for a little bit, but I figured since the hours are a little bit better and it's only like one extra year for physical therapy school, so I just decided to go into physical therapy for that.
Okay. Cool. And so, do you have any game plan for like what you want to do when you graduate? Is there any specific industry, like, or not industry, obviously exercise science, but like, is there anything specifically you want to do? So I have always wanted to work with athletes, but I know that that's something that's not always too attainable to start out of college, so I want to do that, but I'm kind of prepared to work in whatever setting that I can get at first, and then hopefully a few years after I graduate, I can hopefully eventually work with athletes, and that's what I want to do. You should work with Joe Sibley.
Joe Sibley, yeah?
He's an athlete.
He is?
Yeah.
I hear he's a good one.
You should contact him.
Yeah.
Have you done any shadowing or internships or anything like that?
Yeah, so with my major, pre-physical therapy, there isn't really much on internships. There's not really too many internship opportunities. It's just all about shadowing. So with physical therapy, I have to worry about getting to graduate school now. So I started off probably before, like the summer before my freshman year of college, just starting off shadowing. I contacted some special clinics, hospitals and all that, trying to get as much shadowing opportunities as possible. My mom, since she worked in the hospitals around the area, she got me some connections as well. So coming into college, I probably had about 20 or 30 hours of observation hours already, which was really great. And I think that's always a really good thing for students to have in any medical field, is having those observation hours, and make sure to start early, because you don't want to go into your senior year when you're applying to graduate school and you have to get, depending on the place that you're applying to have to get like 60 to 80 hours of observation in 1 month. So I started very early, and like I said, I had 20 to 30 hours of observation to start out, and then now I looked over everything. I have about 80 some hours right now in observation, and then I'm looking to my goal is to have 100 by the time this summer ends. So I start off really early, so that's a really good choice for a lot of students there.
Yeah, definitely. And like we kind of talked about that in previous episodes, how like it's kind of important to do that before, like earlier on in your college career rather than late in the game, just because I feel like a lot of times you're kind of assigned to do co-ops or internships later on, and then like that's when you realize, oh, I don't like this, and you just wasted like your whole college career. So yeah. Why can't we, like, let's just contact all colleges and tell them, hey, like, change this. Maybe not like internships, but just like shadowing, just to start you off so you kind of get a feel of what you're getting into. Yeah,
and I think that's the thing with a lot of careers is just you have to make sure that you start off everything ridiculously early sometimes, so because everyone's a procrastinator. You're not really ever going to get around that sometimes, but you have to make sure that you're on top of things, that you start things really early.
And you said you did that like during high school, like before you graduated?
Yeah, so that was the summer after my senior year, before my freshman year of college.
Before you came to college.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. So I think that's important though with high schools and like educating people to actually get on the field experience beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that you really need when going into internships. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Right.
What are you about to say?
I don't know.
We're live right now.
We are live. You're making me nervous when you laugh like that, Sawyer. Okay, well, what I was saying
You just make me nervous in general.
Yeah, I do too. So when you go into internships, you need to make sure that you really go on the right foot.
Oh. I don't know where this is going. Daniel, continue.
What's happening?
Well, so you want to make sure you're on the right foot, and so during your shadowing, I'm sure you have to do a lot of walking around, right?
Of course.
And sometimes you get pissed at people and you just really want to sock them in the face, right?
Sure.
Okay, so
is this going anywhere? What's going on?
I laugh too much, so I'm trying to control myself. So I was trying to tell Sawyer to start talking because
that was your hand motion.
That was my sign. Like
I didn't know what to say.
I can't breathe. Well, yeah, man. So it's important that you have comfortable footwear. Shoes are cool, but the thing that really adds that extra comfort is you need to make sure you have comfortable socks, right?
Of course.
So that's why I just wanted to let you know.
I know where you're going with this now.
Caleb, this is sincere, and I would just greatly appreciate it if you just took this effing serious for like 5 minutes, okay? Okay, we're live right now, and he's trying to say something very important, and all you're doing is laughing. Okay? This is serious, okay?
Yeah.
And if you don't take this serious, I will make sure you would never be on another podcast again, okay?
Well,
so Daniel,
I love this show.
Daniel, go ahead.
So yeah, man. Dude, yeah. StrideLine Socks. It's the world's most comfortable sock out there.
What's it called again?
StrideLine Socks.
Can you spell that?
StrideLine Socks. And so it's really important. I recently invested in StrideLine Socks myself, and let me tell you, it has been a game changer. Just everything that I do nowadays is just like times 10,000, It's quite a blast. And here's the best part. You want to hear the best part?
I want to hear the best part. I'm really excited right now.
I think you do. So if you go on to StrideLine.com, or no, look up StrideLine. I forgot the website.
Oh, boy.
If you enter the code MTD, you get a whopping 10% discount. And now if you get an 8-pack of socks, you know how much dollars you're saving? You're saving about $8. And you could spend $8 on?
What?
Another pack of StrideLine socks. So I just want you to take that in and think about that. And it can really be a really big game changer for your future, It could be the difference between getting a job and not getting a job. Let's say you go into an interview, let's say you're not feeling very comfortable because you have the seams in your socks and they're just really grinding your gears, and in mid-interview you just yell, "Geez, man, these socks are killing me," and then the employer, the recruiter looks at you, he's like, "What are you doing?" You don't
It
want
happens. It seriously happens. You'd be surprised.
to the best of us, So.
Yeah, I think it's happened to me a couple times. So.
And the thing about StrideLine Socks is they're seamless. They are seamless. That is a true
I'm very surprised by
fact.
that. You can't find
You know
very
what,
many
man?
socks.
I actually have some StrideLine Socks right
Oh
here.
my gosh, we are live on air right now, and he is pulling out some StrideLine socks.
This is from last week's podcast. Sawyer, I owe you a pair of
No,
StrideLine.
thank you.
You sure?
Thank you, Daniel.
There you go. And that'll last you, that pair of socks will last you 2 days because of your methods of wearing socks.
Well, more like 50 or 60 years. Hopefully, we can get another 100 years out of this one, because this one's probably more durable than the one I've been wearing.
Yeah, so for those that didn't listen to last week, Sawyer actually, his family passes down socks.
Yeah. So for the last 50 or 60 years within my family, my great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, grandfather, and my dad have all worn we've all passed down the same singular sock, and I'm excited to finally, hang that one up and try a StrideLine sock, and hopefully we can get another 50 to 100 years out of it.
So why the same singular sock? Is there some?
It's just a family tradition.
Family tradition.
Yeah,
No,
it's something my
difference?
great-grandfather started.
Oh.
Yeah, because we weren't very wealthy, so usually you pass down money or jewelry or something, and he's like, all I have is this sock, to my grandfather as he was passing away, and that's just how it started.
And what makes the socks last longer is they only wear one sock at a time. So they have one sock one day, and
I only one singular sock all together.
Yeah.
So as you can see, Caleb, right now I'm only wearing one sock. Can you confirm that for all the listeners?
Yes, I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but it's a Baker family tradition, and I am very happy to incorporate StrideLine socks into my Baker family tradition.
Speaking of Baker, they actually have Baker Mayfield socks that I just recently purchased, and let me tell you.
Who's that?
Baker Mayfield, he is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this last podcast. I actually got into sock modeling. Did I say that last time?
You said you were starting that, yes.
Yeah, so I'm a week into it, and things are already looking really good. I already have an agent. Clarence Leroy Adams, look him up on Instagram. He is passionate about biscuits. Formerly dating the Mrs. Butterworth. I think he saw Jemima.
Aunt Jemima?
Jemima, sorry.
Love
I
Aunt
pronounced
Jemima.
it wrong. But yeah, so he is my...
She's okay.
He's my current agent, so it's really cool. It's really starting to look up for me.
So wait, modeling. Do you have to work on your calves a lot for that? Some
You
calf
know what?
raises?
You'd think that, but that's what
They're already huge.
That's what everyone's doing is working on calves. So
Right.
I'm the one guy that doesn't work on calves. I'm because no one else is doing that,
Yeah.
So I'm modeling for all the people that don't have nice looking calves. Because it's a pretty
Representation, man. I like
for
it.
sure, man.
Yeah.
Thinking outside
Very
the box.
slimmy calves.
Yeah. So speaking about socks, how's life going for you right now?
Well, it's pretty smelly. If you want to relate it to socks, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
Well, right now we're in the middle of the summer, so don't have any school. I'm in summer school right now, but
Same. How many credit hours?
I'm just taking 3 right now. But then I have another session next summer session. I'm taking sign language right now.
That's right.
Yeah. So I wanted to take that because my brother's deaf.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I didn't pick up sign language, but we were together. Me and I have 2 older brothers, so we were together all the time. And somehow, some way, we all had our own language together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember my dad told me a story about how one time we were little kids, and I made kind of a motion or a signal with my face, and my brother got up and got a toy for me and knew exactly what I wanted with that one little motion. My dad thought it was the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I never actually learned any sign language. So then he moved away to college, I think when I was in middle school and sometime. And after that, then we didn't spend as much time together. We weren't able to have that connection where we could just make a motion and we knew what we were talking about. So the last few years that connections kind of dissipated. So now I'm looking to take that class and hopefully like get a stronger bond now with my brother that we had before. So I think I visited him last weekend and I saw him and I was able to talk with him. The little bit that I learned of sign language the first few weeks, I've been able to talk with him a lot more and, learn a lot more about sign language and all that. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's a really fun class to take. I actually took the same class, the same professor. Really fun. It's quiet the whole time, so like it's kind of like a unique experience to be able to take sign language class because you're not used to learning in complete silence. There's usually a teacher talking or some rascal in the background and making noises or doing something stupid. Also, another cool thing you can do with sign language is if you're at a place where it's really loud, you can't hear anyone, you can talk to people that know sign language and actually see what they're saying, kind of. So that's really neat. Because one thing my parents do, they both know sign language, and they talk about me and my brother and sisters behind my back, or if they're like in a really far away place where one person's at one side, the other person's at the other, they can like talk to each other. Sign language is just like a all around super cool thing that everyone should learn. Like that should be the universal language.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the interpreters at I think I've seen one at Eminem's show where like they have a sign language person on stage like signing the entire time.
Oh my goodness,
they
sign Rap God?
Like the entire time. It's insane. It's so cool to watch.
That'd be sweet. That's like, you seen tutting? It'd be like an advanced version of tutting.
What's tutting?
It's like when you do you can't see it through the microphone, but I'm making right angles with my hand and arm and making boxes.
And,
shifting.
I see what you're saying.
But yeah.
So did your parents know sign language then?
Yeah, my mom knows sign language pretty well. My dad he can pass by with sign language, and he can communicate with my brother pretty well, but he's not on the level that my mom is at.
So how would they communicate with your brother then? Like sign language or like your own kind of thing? Your parents would to him?
Both my parents use sign language with my brother, but most of the time, the way my parents raised me is just those looks.
Yeah.
You know how your parent gives you the look and immediately to sit down and shut up. So.
Yeah. And so then you're also tour guiding right now, right?
I am. Yeah, I absolutely love tour guiding. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and talk about a really rewarding job. Probably the first year you won't get the reward out of it, but after that first year, you're actually going to have students starting to come on campus that you actually gave a tour to, and they'll all be they'll recognize you and they say, hey, I was on your tour. You're a big reason why I'm here. You were a huge deciding factor. I remember probably the second or third week, maybe even the first week that I was ever cleared, I had a family that asked me oh, how long have you been doing this? And I didn't want to say this is my very first tour on my own, so I just kind of lied to them. I was like, this is my third month working here. I've been working here for a while. I didn't want to be that inexperienced person, this kid knows nothing throughout the tour. So I had to say that because I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry I lied.
Poser, jeez.
But yeah, so I gave the tour, and after the tour, that same family, their daughter came up to me and was like, hey, I loved your tour so much, and I did not want to be here at all, but you impressed me so much, I want to apply right now. And so that was such a rewarding thing. And then after that, I immediately just spilled my guts. I was like, I'm so sorry. I lied at the beginning of the tour. This is my first time ever giving a tour. I lied to you, but thank you so much for telling me that. So she ended up applying, and I see her all the time on campus now. I think she just finished up her freshman year. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I still remember my tour guide, my first tour, and that sold me on it. I don't remember his name, but I remember the impression that he gave me of the campus, and it sold me on it. That's really cool.
I'm the opposite. I used to be, I just didn't care going to college. I just was okay, engineering, so math and physics, and then I got my degree. So I remember my tour at Toledo. Basically, I remember the tour guide told us that the games were free to go to, and then I remember us getting lost, and that's all I remember.
The tour guide got you lost?
No, finding the Libby Hall.
Oh, okay.
The starting point.
I was going to say, that's the worst tour guide ever. They got you lost.
Yeah. And then I
don't think he was a real tour guide.
I was almost too loose when it came to deciding colleges, because I was just okay, who can get me the best scholarships and who has a good program? And I didn't even really like remember any of the universities. I was just like, okay, Toledo's giving me the most amount of money, and they apparently have a good engineering program, so I'm going there. Which I thankfully made a good decision, but I definitely probably should have spent more time, considering that this is like the rest of my life that I'm kind of preparing for. So,
well, going back to Toledo being like the more affordable price, you hear all these people talking about, you know, all these big, huge schools that offer such a great education, but it's at a huge price. And so I'm wondering, like, all the smart people go there that have like the high ACT scores and all of that stuff, but like they're going to a school and they're getting the same education as anyone else, and they're ending up with, I don't know, $100,000 in debt, $50,000 in debt, whatever it is. Whereas if you go to Toledo, we offer a ton of scholarships. It's a more affordable price, and you come out with a lot less debt and with the same education as anyone else. So I'm always wondering, like, what the attraction is between one of those bigger schools and like just going to Toledo, because honestly,
I think it's just a label.
Right. Like, I've had the same experience, like talking to high school friends that went to Ohio State. Like, I've had the same, they talk about like maybe the experience, but I've had the same experiences that they've had here at Toledo than they have at Ohio State. And I'm also, again, I'm getting the same education that they are. So that's the thing too, is when you're looking at colleges, try not to even think about, like Sawyer said, the label, you know, think about, you know, the education that you're getting, and then also the cost that you can get afforded to you. So I know that was one thing that I looked at as well, and I knew I had a bunch of scholarships going into Toledo, and that was just a cheaper and better choice for me to have, and better for my future too, so I wouldn't have as much student debt graduating from college.
And like one of the things you're paying for when you go to like a public or a private university is you're also getting like the whole college experience, where you're getting all the soft skills with like talking and socializing, which is definitely an important skill to have. But yeah, going off of what you said with just how brain fart.
You can say it, Daniel. We're all friends here.
I'm sorry. God, I hate brain farts. You were talking about how, so schools like cost a lot of money. How like you're getting like the same experience, and that's one thing I kind of been hearing a lot in podcasts. People that go to very well-known art schools, like there's a few exceptions where just a majority of the classes are very well, but even like a lot of well-known art schools where you're coming out with $100,000 debt, like you still have those professors where you're not really learning stuff you really need to know how to do, or they just might suck at what they're doing. Obviously, you're gonna have some good professors, but you kind of get that same kind of experience, except people see your resume and they see, oh, you went to this school, so just because of that label, they're like, oh, you must know more. Which in some cases it might be true, but in some cases it's like,
Well, I've seen that as well, and like I've had that conversation with other people. Is like if you're doing an interview with someone, like example Ohio State, and you have an interview with an employer, and that employer also went to Ohio State, like you're automatically going to get the job. And, you know, it's that higher name. But then again, like, let's say you have an interview with someone, they went to the University of Toledo. It's kind of the same connection. You're going to get the job as well. So.
I think it's just really important on how you sell yourself, too, in an interview. But networking is huge, and just, like, who you know after graduation.
Definitely.
Is more important, I feel like, than what college you went to.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely is a huge factor. And then if you want to just strictly get the knowledge or education, and you don't really need to gain the soft skills, or if it's a degree where you might not need a resume, definitely look into online like classes or even YouTube, just because there's so much sources online that we have access to now that people might not take advantage of.
Yeah, it's actually kind of weird that like as times, like our parents, they had to go to college to get an education, but it's kind of weird that today we have all this technology on our hands that we can, like you said, go on YouTube or look on the internet, and we can get almost the same skills that any other college educated person would if we just look online.
Right.
We have all the information useful to us.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a matter of making yourself do it and having that self-discipline. Faux shizzle.
All right, and that's all we have today.
Yeah, get out of
So, yep.
All right, bye guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, so this is the time we're going to open up the phone lines here. So if anybody wants to call in, we'll take some calls here for Caleb, but we're going to keep the podcast rolling here. And Daniel's got a really juicy question.
Thanks for the setup, Sawyer. I really appreciate it. So my big question...
Wait, we have a caller? No, we do not. Okay.
They hung up.
Yep. All right.
Dang it. Oh, they had a second thought.